Another week and another 3 goddamn PlayStation Store sales have just popped up. We've still got the Indie Deals sale, we've now got Essential Picks, and we've also got another under $15 deals sale. This video here is going to be focused just on the Essential Picks sale. This is actually pretty good. Some pretty high value games in here that have been discounted down finally, which haven't frequently got big discounts, so we're going to talk about those. We didn't have a clever intro sketch or anything like that for this one because there's so many deal videos. I just got to pump them all out. Let's go and have a look at some essential and non-essential picks. So I hear you all saying, wow, this guy looks like he's just rolled out of bed for his hair to look like that. Believe it or not, this took half an hour to do. So there's that. If you do take pity on me and my unfortunate hairstyle today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. We still have a large number of people holding out on us in terms of subscribing to this channel. As you can see in this little graph here, which I took directly from my YouTube analytics, the non-subscribed number has just gone absolutely insane. So I'd really appreciate it if some of you non-subscribers ended up hitting that button down below and joined the familia. We did just hit 15,000 subscribers on the channel. But that didn't work at all. This stuff here, I made a mess. I don't know why I did that. You can't subscribe twice, but you can hit the like button down below and leave a comment, which also helps out with the YouTube algorithm enormously, and it's a great way to support the channel. Today we're looking at 13 deals from the Essential Deals sale. Honestly, there is a bunch of great stuff in here. There's a bunch of stuff that's just trash. As always, Sony have done that thing where they put collector's editions or special editions of games in here and they discount them down to a price that is still completely unreasonable for a sale. Don't be fooled into that. If there's any deluxe editions, special editions, things like that, just don't buy them. Just gloss over them for the time being. I hate having to call it out every time, but just forget about them for now. Let's look at the standard editions of games because that's where you're going to get the best bang for your buck. First of all, we have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War available on the PlayStation 4 at 25% off. This comes down to $44.99. Now, this isn't an enormous discount. It's only 25% off, but Cold War Black Ops hasn't been discounted super heavily up until now. So if you're a COD fan, you're looking for that new Call of Duty fix, it is discounted now. This, I believe, is the cheapest it's been since the game actually launched in November last year. This is only the PS4 version, not the PS5 version, so keep that in mind as well. It's a good COD game. It's not a fantastic COD game, though. I would say it's very passable. Single player, multiplayer, zombies, and then this Dead Ops mode, which actually kind of sucks. Not a bad COD game, but not a fantastic COD game either. So weigh that up as well. Give it another 6 months, and this thing will be 30 bucks though. So if you stick around for a bit longer, it will get cheaper. Don't forget that. Death Stranding is discounted down pretty well as well. I thought this is a pretty good deal for $24.79. It works out to be 38% off for Death Stranding. If you have PlayStation Plus, you do get an additional 5% off that as well. Death Stranding isn't for everyone. It is kind of the UPS simulator of games. You control Norman Reedus on his delivery run, essentially in the end of the world during the apocalypse. The game focuses very heavily on narrative and exposition and things like that. So if you're after a very, very narrative driven game with some gameplay in it, then this could be a good option for you to jump in on. It's got a lot of really famous actors who play the different characters in this as well. You know, Troy Baker of The Last of Us fame, but also Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead and Mads Mikkelsen from Hannibal as well. Obviously produced and developed by Hideo Kojima, who helmed the Metal Gear franchise. So if you're after something epic from him, this game is discounted pretty heavily, and I'd say it's a pretty good price for this game. It's also got a bunch of content. This game is literally going to take you 60 or 70 hours to finish, so keep that in mind too. Bit of a weird one, but Bloodborne is 35% off, bring it down to $12.99. I would love to have seen Bloodborne for $9.99. I think at this point it should be discounted to that $10 price point. Bloodborne is one of my top games on the PlayStation 4 for the entire generation though, so I have to call it out because it's just such a high quality game. For $12.99, it's absolutely worth it. I do just wish it was a little bit cheaper, considering we have games like Horizon and God of War hitting that $10 price point, and they're newer than Bloodborne. Essentially a Souls-like game set in a Castlevania-like setting, which is what I love about it. I love Castlevania, so having a game like this set in that setting is just absolutely superb. Again, epic game, but tough as nails for anyone who's wanting to get into that Souls-like genre. However though, actually on that point, it's probably a good one for you to jump in on because it's not as hard as Dark Souls or Demon Souls, so it could be worth checking out as well. A Way Out, this one's interesting. So this is a purely co-op game, but only one person needs to own it. So if you purchase this game, your buddy can play it with you completely free, so only one out of the 2 people need to play it. The other person just downloads the free client. This is made by Joseph Faris. He makes these cool co-op games, Brothers, A Way Out, out, and he's actually working on a new game called It Takes Two, which launches in March. This game here is about these two men escaping from prison, and it has this really cool aesthetic where the entire screen is split with both characters on each screen. Even if you're playing online co-op, the screen is still split so you can see what each of the characters is doing at the same time. Very, very cool. Very new concept for a multiplayer or cooperative game, and I think probably the best co-op game I've ever played. It's definitely the best co-op game I've played on the PlayStation 4. Probably the best co-op game though, period, I would say. Definitely check this out if you've got a buddy. $10, absolute steal for this one. I recommend it to the moon and back. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is down to $15, 75% off. I'm not sure if this is the cheapest that this game has ever been before. I have a feeling it might have been $10 in the past. I want to call it out though, because $15 is still a good price for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a massive open world Assassin's Creed game. This is obviously after the hiatus with Assassin's Creed, where they came back with the significant changes, turning them more into an RPG, and this is more of an RPG than a stealth game, I would say. Keep that in mind if you're jumping into it. Good price for this though if you're after an Assassin's Creed game or something massive to sink your time into, especially because March doesn't have a ton of really high quality titles coming out. Detroit Become Human is down 35%, which down from $20 down to $13. Again, I think this would be nicer around the $10 price point. I do believe it has been there before as well. Still though, high quality narrative driven game. Essentially just like the Telltale games, very similar to Heavy Rain, which was actually its predecessor or one of its predecessors, where you control all these different characters with these branching narratives. Depending on what you do, the choice and consequence has a knock-on effect which will change the outcome of the game. Pretty neat though, because when you talk about this game with your friends, everyone has a different outcome because there's just so much to it. And that's just cool. I think it's a really neat feature of this game where it's a really cool water cooler game where you can discuss it with people and everyone's going to have had a different experience. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or Dragon Ball Fighters, for those of you who corrected me in the comment section last time, get the hell out of here. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is 84% off, $9.59. Awesome price for this one. If you're looking for a Dragon Ball game or a fighting game, this is the one for you. Super, super good deal on this one. I'd say this is the best Dragon Ball game that came out on the PlayStation 4 for the entire generation. Fantastic, like, casual fighting game, but then also really advanced as well for those hardcore players who want to get into fighting games a little bit deeper. If you're an anime fan, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, this is a must buy. And for $10, absolute steal for this game. Mad Max is discounted by 40% down to $12 as well. Another hits discount title. Another 10% off that if you have PlayStation Plus. Keep that in mind for all you Plus users out there. Mad Max, open world, third-person action survival game. It uses the same combat system as the Batman games with this methodical sort of punching and dodging mechanic, which looks really cinematic and cool, and it's really satisfying to pull off those combos with dodging and punching and just taking out groups of enemies. The game does get a little bit tedious if you're going for the Platinum Trophy, but unfortunately the servers were shut off at the end of last year, so you can't actually get the Platinum Trophy in this game anymore, and I made a video about that separately on the channel. If you do want to find out about that, click on the channel and have a look, you'll be able to find it. But if you want to just play this game for the story alone, I do recommend it for that. It's great, it's fun, the gameplay loop is actually really good in it, but the 100% in it is not fun to go for at all. Gran Turismo Spec 2 Edition is $15. It's 50% off, down from $30. I know we probably don't have a ton of Gran Turismo fans, and GT Sport wasn't the best Gran Turismo game, we can kind of all admit that, but GT Spec 2 Edition has a bunch of the DLC. It has all of the DLC, I believe, up until the point that this edition of the game was released, included in it tracks, content, cars, things like that. So it does kind of combine everything. So if you're looking to get into Gran Turismo and you've been holding off, this could be the option to do that. Keeping in mind, Gran Turismo 7 has been delayed on the PlayStation 5 for potentially 12 months. This could be a good option to tide you over if you're waiting for that GT fix. Keeping in mind, it's not a numbered Gran Turismo game, so it's not as good as that. Harry Potter and the Lego collection, Lego Harry Potter collection includes Lego Harry Potter 1 and 2, which is years 1 to 4, and then I guess 5 to 7. It's $6, 70% off with an additional 5% off if you have Plus. The Lego games are fantastic, smash, hack, collectathon games. Really, really fun for people of all ages, but if you love Harry Potter, then this is a great recommendation as well, because it takes so much of the nostalgia from those movies and puts them into Lego form. All of the Lego games kind of do this, but I would say these older ones like Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean are my personal favorites because they really touch on some of those things from the movies that were really, really special and unique. Great price for this. You're getting 2 games in this for $6, and you're just getting a bunch of content. Great thing. And also, these games are all split screen co-op as well. So if you've got a partner, a kid, a wife, whatever it may be, who you want to play a game with split screen, then these are great games for split screen. Need for Speed Deluxe Edition is down to $5, 80% off. Now this is not a super well received Need for Speed game, but I think it was pretty competent in terms of driving mechanics. It was just the narrative that was a bit cringy. It uses this first person FMV, full motion video, so real actors playing the characters in the game, where you're basically viewing it from a first person perspective as a silent protagonist, while everyone kind of acts around you. And it's just awkward. You've got these actors who are old, trying to pretend to be 20-year-olds who are really hip in like 2013 or 2015. And it doesn't work particularly well. The story is awkward at best, but the driving and the missions and everything around that I think does work quite competently. When I played it, I actually enjoyed the game. I overlooked the story, but I had a good time with the game itself, so I'm going to recommend it on that basis alone, especially if you're looking for a fun arcade racer to play. It's $5. It's such a good price, and when games get down to that $5 price point where they're getting closer to that Big Mac value, as we talked about in another video, you can overlook a lot of stuff, at that price. Until Dawn is 50% off as well, down to $10. Until Dawn, a horror game, very similar to Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, those kind of games where you're controlling these characters through this narrative, expansive journey. All of it's based on choice and consequence in this game, exactly the same as those other games, except this one is more of a horror game. Until Dawn is great though. Definitely my favorite one of those interactive drama style games, I think. I think they just did a great job with it, not only in how it looks and plays, just in how the story unfolds as well. Really cool mystery in here. And if you're not super into horror, don't worry too much. It's not too scary. There are some jump scares in there, but it's not too bad. Last but not least is South Park: The Stick of Truth, which we're not going to show any gameplay for because Ubisoft always content ID claim me when I show South Park. Don't know why, they just want all my money. Down to $10, 67% off as well. Really fun South Park RPG. If you like South Park and the humor associated with South Park, it's a must buy. It's absolutely a must buy for that alone. One of the funniest games I think I've ever played, period. Really worth your time. Really worth your time if you're looking for something comedic, and also an RPG, because it has some pretty competent RPG mechanics in there as well, believe it or not. But it's just a barrel of laughs, and that's kind of what you want from a South Park game. Something that doesn't take itself too seriously, but still plays decently well, that keeps you engaged enough with it. $10, great price for this. It is a PS3 game that has been remastered for the PS4 though, so keep that in mind as well. There you go guys, deals. That is all of them. That is the ones I think are worth calling out. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comment section down below so that other people can potentially invest in those games as well. I think these ones are the best value bang for your buck, but always leave comments. Don't leave a comment being like, hey, you forgot this game. I didn't forget it. I didn't include it because I don't recommend it. Thanks guys. Bye.